I really wish you could smell this. My hands now smell amazing. The most potent smell. It feels like my third child. Hey everyone, it's Barry here. Hope you are well wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our kitchen. Today we are making homemade focaccia bread. The first time I have ever made it. I'm extremely excited. I love focaccia bread so much. It's brilliant. It's kind of like a slab, isn't it? It's just like it still rises like bread. It's got the punchy little holes on the top of it. Herb infused, oily. Boy, it's oily. I never really realized how oily it was until we make it, which is the whole point of this video. We're gonna do a rosemary focaccia bread. I mean, you could do other herbs in there, like thyme. I was gonna put thyme in there, but I find it really hard to get off, like the little stalks. It's just like, end up with more stalk than the actual leaf. We've got some garlic, we've got some flour, we've got some dried fast action yeast, we've got some olive oil. This is like a fairly good quality one, but I understand there are some extremely expensive extra virgin olive oils out there. I think there's even like mafia involvement in Italy. Stuart was telling me, it's just kind of like crazy. There's like all this like sort of turf war over olive oil. I do love it though with a bit of balsamic vinegar. In fact, we might dunk it. We might roll reverse it. We're going to infuse it with the oil. We might dunk it in some oil with the balsamic at the end, if this works. Only other thing than water that we need is a little bit of honey, and this is some foil that I bought when I went to the shop. So that's completely out. Don't really need that, sorry. But this should be easy. It should be super delicious. And if I can do this, you're going to smash it out the park. Let's go. Well, actually, on the subject of salt, and it's a pug inspired. Yes. I'll just get the bowl out, but as I tell you, we bulk buy our dog food like in big 20-kilo bags. It arrived the other day, and the kids, like literally, I don't know how they did it. They brought it in, put it into the porch, just our first door in our house, and it had a hole in the bag. We look around, I say the other day, this was yesterday, half an hour later, we're like, where the hell's Boston? Where the hell's Boston? You know, we're passionate about it. Where the hell is he? And we're out there, and there's no joke. There's Boston. There's a hole in the dog food bag, and he's been having a little feast, haven't you? And you're feeling a little bit sorry for yourself. Not going to go down that route too much, but he has been to the toilet several times. But most importantly, he is emitting every 10 to 15 minutes the most potent smell, and it is, oh. Yeah, boy, I'd be proud if it was me. So the good thing is with the dough here, what we're gonna make, it's still got to prove like a normal bread. So we'll get that first stage going, and then I'll take him out and see if he just wants to share that smell that he's emitting with the rest of the world. So yes, let's crack on.
Focaccia.
Focaccia. Did I say focaccia? Focaccia.
Focaccia.
Focaccia. Focaccia. I was just wondering if there was any sort of meaning behind that word, focaccia. It just says a type of Italian flatbread made with yeast and olive oil and flavoured with herbs, which is exactly what we're doing today. I thought it might have some sort of like deeper inner meaning, but no, it's just an Italian flatbread, which hopefully will be blooming stonking. If you don't know, when I look at recipes and ideas and things to do, I kind of combine lots of different inspiration and get tips from you guys ahead of it. Then I put the video out and I get like 10,000 more, and I really appreciate that. But what sometimes people do is actually cook the garlic and the herbs together to try and infuse and intensify those flavors. And that's what we're going to do with our rosemary. So you can see these are on little spriggy things like that. Sometimes people at barbecues as well, they kind of like, they have like a stick where they like tie different herbs together and like whack it. I've seen that before and I'm like, is that actually doing anything? But what I tend to do is just push it against the stalk, the way that it wants to fall, and you just get the nice bits of rosemary there, so you're just left with your, ooh, look at me with a propeller. You don't want that bit in it amazingly, if you don't mind. Yeah, it's a Barry Lewis one, optional, but that just hoovers it all up. I love it. That's in my veggie prep kit, by the way. I've only got 100 of these left until probably about 7 months from now as I talk. So if you haven't got one, you fancy one, that is in the kit as well. So it's worth a look if you want. But I just love it. Hooves it up. That's 2 cloves and a good handful of the rosemary. That's the flavours I'm going for. Ooh. But if you want to add any more herbs and flavourings other than seasoning, paprika. No, I think Italians would hate me for that. We'll just carry on. Yeah, and with the rosemary, I'm just roughly chopping that. Doesn't need to be anything too crazy, but just get it a little bit smaller. I did actually have a chance to go to Italy just before the lockdown started to learn about olive oil. So I might look to try and do that again soon once life gets back to normal, which we've done it, folks. I think we are slowly getting there. But this is the olive oil, and we're going to cook the rosemary and the garlic in that. Yeah, I mean, after what Stuart told me, that sort of trip to see olive oil, it'd be like, hey Mickey, you want to buy some olive oil, huh? Bunker. Look after your olives, folks, and that's a good life lesson. So let's get that olive oil. Oh, it's a lovely golden rich colour. Oh, I do love olive oil, actually. It's naughty. I'm not like Jamie Oliver style, like put it on everything, but you know what I mean. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add the garlic in just about a couple of minutes later, because I find that garlic cooks quite quick, and the minute we don't really want to burn the garlic. This is a new chopping board, it's got a really annoying groove in it. Right, okay. Note to Barry, never use this again. So we're going to cook this up. It should be about maybe like 10 minutes, so I'll keep stirring it. But remember, olive oil in general has a lower smoke point, so you really want to sort of monitor it. So I really shouldn't be talking, we should be just try and bring it down a little bit closer. I really wish you could smell this. The olive oil smell is very potent, but then the freshness of the rosemary's coming out, pushing them around there. To be honest, they're doing, oh my gosh, that's close. They're doing nothing right now. That'll be more about taste, I think. But then after a couple of minutes, like I say, the garlic sat here quite lonely. We'll add it in. We just don't want this to brown too soon. All right, so it's been about 4 minutes. I'm gonna push this in. Oh yeah. It starts to go lightly brown. Take it off the heat immediately. And I'm gonna pour it straight back into my jug as quick as I can. It smells a bit like rosemary garlic bread now. Oh. The garlic was starting to go just a tinge of brown on it, and that's fine. We just do not, it will burn really, really quick. So this is just cooling down nice and fragrant to one side, and this is my plain flour ready for making the dough. There was a time, no need focaccia recipe, and I think, oh, I love no need bread, that simplicity. But as it was my first time doing it, there was no need in this occasion. I thought I want to do it properly, you know? And hopefully I am. We have got a jug with some warm water in. We've also got some honey, okay? So we're gonna put about, I'm gonna call it a squirge, like half a teaspoon. All the recipes you've sent me over the time and the research I've done, it tended to mostly be honey and not sugar in with this, so that's fine. So honey and water, and this is some fast action yeast, like just one of those sachets, which is typically about a tablespoon. So I'm just gonna give that a little stir so it kind of meets and it's all friendly, and the warm water and the honey mingles and gets that yeast going, because we are going to leave this for a couple of minutes, all right? Whilst that's doing that, one thing to say, you might bake bread from time to time and have the fast action yeast sachets. If you can get the fresh stuff from a supermarket, quite hard to get, or from a bakery, they'll be like, whoa, do you want my bread? But if you buy the sachets, look at all the cocoa powder we've got. I do like chocolate cake. Like, if you have a packet of this, beware that the expiry date does go off. And I've found that even if you use it, it's only about a year, even if you use it after 6-7 months, yeast does die. Sorry, rest in peace, yeast. Yo. So basically, just try and bake as much as you can. Yeah, it really is the yeast you could do. Big bowl like that. We're going to get half of our flour in first of all. Then we're going to get all of the yeast. Look at that hair. It's like a pint of Guinness. Going to get all of that in there. Lovely. Now this mixture has cooled down, but I need to be careful. I can't do this with one hand. We want to get half of this in there, but if I just pour it, some of the actual ingredients are going to stay in there. I want to kind of get half of it. I want to make sure I get all the garlic and rosemary in there too. So half of this. But just get that mingling together. Mix this through. Apparently we just do this initially just to get it all to be absorbed by the flour. The more will go in. You can see that thickening up and then taking to it. That is all we want, and then we keep it rested for another 5 minutes. I'm not actually sure why we do this step, but it was very common, so we'll do that. All right, so that has been another 5 minutes. A couple of bubbles appearing there. Maybe it does get the yeast working. I don't know, it's certainly the most oiliest bread that I've ever made, but the rest of the flour is now going in, and also some unnecessary pig sulfate. We'll just bring this together, and hopefully, I'm wanting it to thicken a little bit more so I can handle it. And, oh, it looks to be doing that. Brilliant. Oh, there we go. You can see it's gone sort of nice and elasticy like that. And when you need it on a surface, you're going to add a little bit more flour to it anyway. Let's do that now. A nice big clean bowl. We've got a little bit of olive oil. I should probably use the cheap stuff. Trust me, this wasn't the cheapest, but by far there are way more expensive ones. I don't know what the most expensive. I might Google that in a minute just because we've got to wait for this to prove. Oil it up the sides. Oh, it smells so good. I think I've just suddenly realised how much I love olive oil, this recipe. Yeah. Feeling really authentic. Oh, to be fair, it is quite a wet dough still. And now, randomly, it smells a bit. It is super, I mean, the oil is definitely doing that. It's making it really delicate. As I'm holding it, it's still a teeny bit tacky, so a little bit of flour as we go. And once I'm happy that it's not gonna stick to my hands, I'm gonna start working it through for a good 10 minutes, like this, but still I'm getting a little bit of tack. But that is a lovely tender dough. I almost feel like the electric mixer just wouldn't have respected it. I wanted it to be kind, and I feel part of this, right? Like, my hands now smell amazing. There we go. After 10 minutes of solid kneading, it feels like my third child. I just feel really proud of it. Right, so there is our greased bowl from earlier. Gonna lift that dough, oh my gosh, carefully in there. Now, normally I would go get the Wrap Master 3000, just some cling film on there, but you always hear about the damp tea towel thing, and I haven't done that for blooming ages, so just because I want to, I'm gonna do that. Does anyone know, can you please let me know, why does it have to be damp? What does that do? I could Google it, but I like you and I want to talk to you. It's a nice warm day today. This is gonna hopefully double in size in the temperature that where it is now. I'm not gonna put it anywhere crazy, just make sure that's covered. And now is a good time for me to take Boston out. You've been popping off quite a bit, haven't you? You just farted, didn't you? Feel sorry for you, mate, having to put up with that. So we're back, a good 45-minute walk. I think Boston enjoyed that way more than Amy and I did. But here we go, look, haven't even moved it. Boom, look at that. I would say that's more than doubled in size. So now we take a tray, add a bit more oil on the base. It actually might help maneuver the dough because we're literally plonking it in here any minute now. Oh, that is so light and foamy and airy. Gonna push it into the corners. This is beautiful. Come here. Come see this. Remember, this is my first time doing it, so please be kind, Italians. And generally, you are quite nice to me. There is one country I'm not going to mention where I did a recipe from there, and it was, yeah, we won't do that again. Now make the dimples. Now this is just like sort of pushing it like this. And apparently that is to compress the air to prevent it from rising too much. And I don't know if I should be doing this with a wooden spoon or not, but I'm having a lot of fun. It's also creating like little pockets that with the remaining oil, garlic, rosemary mixture, we can pour in, and those pockets can fill with the oil and some of those flavourings. I am really, really happy with that. Whoa! So let's bring that mixture in, and I'm just gonna drizzle it over the top. We've got the garlic, and we are gonna have that rosemary topping on it as well. That's how they did. We are getting authentic here, folks. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling my inner Starbucks coming out. So there we go, just enough. And these lovely little pockets, I think every little pocket has either got some rosemary, some garlic, some of the pepper, some of the oil in there, but I don't think I've completely drenched it. I really hope I haven't ruined it because it smells so good. So we leave it now for about 25 minutes again, just to rise up a little bit more. I hope it does with this weight on it. And then we bake. All right, this oven is 450 Fahrenheit, which is 230C or 210 fan, aka rather chuffing hot. It's not going to take long to bake. It has puffed up and doubled. Let's get it going. Part of me just really hopes I didn't put too much oil in and I'm just going to end up frying the whole bread, but maybe there is a sort of fried crispy crunchy coating on it anyway. You can use it as a pizza base as well, but I think for today I'm just going to have it as bread and just gobble it up. Please work. It's been surprisingly easy so far. Just going to plonk it. Oh no, I'm not going to plonk it down. I'm going to show you. Look at that lovely golden colour on there. Super good. Maybe I could have done it a little less so it's lightly golden, but I love that richness to it. The smell is outstanding. Not much rise. The holes have done their job. It's shrunk a little bit. It's all the oil's gone into it. Like, is this kind of like, is focaccia, is it a hybrid between bread and fried bread? The oil has gone in. Like, I want to gloss it a little bit once we cool it down. So let's do that. This transfers to a wire rack, like so. Ooh. And look, all of that oil that I put in there has gone from that tray. Oh yeah. It's almost got holes on the bottom. Maybe I pressed the holes a bit too much, but never look at the bottom of your focaccia. I'm immensely proud of that. Remember, slather it in pizza sauce, cheese, toppings, all that stuff. Keep that oven hot. A couple of minutes, you've got yourself a pizza. Cut it into nice, even, consistent slices. You can make a Starbucks-inspired sandwich. But we're just gonna rip some chunks off and dunk away. Behold, one of my most favourite things in the world. Balsamic vinegar and olive oil, aka a very tasty oil spill. Oh, nice. I'm hoping for a crunchy top, crunchy bottom, and a nice soft oh, wow. Yes, my friends, look. Oh, and it's still slightly warm. This must be consumed immediately. Oh my word. Now I'm tasting it straight after making it and seeing the whole construction of it, I do kind of get this like light fried vibe to it, but I love it. I'm not a massive fan of fried bread normally, but it's just that coating either end, the softness inside, and the flavour driven into that dough, and then on top. I didn't even brush this again. You could do that if you wanted to, just to enhance it, but it doesn't need it. I now appreciate and actually understand it now that we've made it, so I really hope, I really hope you give this a go. I just got myself a little pot of just balsamic vinegar, so no oil in there. I'm going to put enough in it. And that tasted sensational. I think it kind of compensated for it anyway. Oh, please try this. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and tell all your friends about the channel. And if you try any of the recipes today through any of the years, pick your social media of choice. Send me a photo. I'd love to see it. Bye.
Check your level, player. No matter what your style, the kitchen's for me. Simon's moustache, goatee, maybe all three.
And the other good news is this guy seems to have stopped trumping as well. Well, you're sitting by him now. You must be. Hey, trapeze artist, what's that big net for? Oh, that's for Focaccia. Try this recipe.